Thobejane, may uncle arko butsoro utlohele me kazi Dedrick. So Dedrick posted a video addressing Thobejane, and Thobejane is an artist who basically draws portraits of celebrities, famous people, as well as content creators. Now I'm going to give you a quick rundown of exactly what's going on so that you don't have to go to the podcast, to the videos, to the multiple. Yeah, I did all of that for you, babes. So basically what happened was that Thobejane had posted a picture of a portrait that he had drawn of Dedrick on his social media platforms. Dedrick then responded to the portrait with fire emojis, hearts, suggesting that Dedrick really had interest and liked the portrait that Thobejane had painted, or rather drawn. So Thobejane then offered this portrait to Dedrick, and Dedrick then agreed to fetch the portrait, and they basically started going back and forth on a place and time that he can basically come get the portrait. Now, this is where the story goes kicking. Thobejane went on a podcast with Street Talk with Nomsta and started saying stuff like Dedrick was basically rejecting his work. He said the word rejecting, and he felt as though basically his work was being ridiculed because there was a call that ensued between him, another person, as well as Dedrick, and this person was basically telling Dedrick that he's ready for you to come pick up the portrait, and then allegedly Dedrick laughed at this guy's portrait in his eyes. Now, Dedrick came with the receipts. Dedrick said the screenshots don't lie. The screenshots were posted and it showed that Dedrick was actually willing to come pick up the portrait. He was very excited for the portrait. Dedrick actually took a picture with the said person and posted it on his public social media platforms. And yeah, so everything was la-di-da until this podcast basically came out. Now that we are all caught up. So when I first saw Dedrick's post about this matter, I basically went and I looked at the podcast to see exactly what was said on this podcast by Thobejane. And when I saw what he was saying, I realized that Thobejane has a sense of entitlement when it comes to his work, as well as expecting public figures, artists, as well as content creators to post his work just because he has drawn you. I understand that a lot of people, brands, small business owners, send their stuff to content creators as well as artists, as well as public figures at large, to get their work basically recognized by other people, that person's followers and so forth. But it is important for us to understand and know that just because you are sending your brand to someone, or you're sending a product to someone, or you're giving this person an experience, does not mean that they are obligated to post your product, brand, or the experience that you're giving them. Essentially, some content creators do a service for service type of situation. You give me a service and I'll give you a service back by posting on my platform. Other content creators do a product for service situation. You give me your product and then I will post for you in return. But that is because maybe most content creators already use that product. So it's a mutually beneficial situation for both parties involved. The last one is that most content creators will probably accept some kind of remuneration for their platform, right? And every content creator is different, and they're entitled to have these stipulations about their platform. Because remember, as content creators build our platform brick by brick from 0 followers. So you can understand the kind of coverage you're going to have, your brand, your product, whatever the case may be. So as much as you feel entitled for him to post your product, doesn't necessarily mean he has to, but he did. So for you to go on a public platform and basically shit on him, you don't understand what you have done. You've closed your doors for other content creators and artists or public figures that would basically, now you drawing another person, they're going to be fearful of this situation happening to them, of you saying these things that you're saying about Dedrick, about them. It's not a good look for you. In this podcast, Thobejane also said that because he uses his own money to draw these paintings and to basically do all of these things, he uses his own money. He expects, this is exactly quote for quote, he expects that the person that he's drawing must post him. He also said that him going to Mabopane wouldn't have been possible because Mabopane is far from CBD. It's a 35 Rand taxi away. And okay, maybe it is far from you, but you are the one requiring something from this person. Just because you drew them doesn't mean they have to come use their own petrol, remuneration, and capital to come fetch this painting. And then you go on a public and you bash